Good morning, friends. My name is Anand, and welcome to the introductory class of Big Data Hadoop. Nowadays, you might have seen people most of people are talking about the big data. Most of companies they are having good openings for the big data analytics. So, how big data and why big data? Let me tell you something about the big data. Some interesting facts about the big data. Nowadays, 50 billion smart connected devices in the world. See how much it is. If we talk about the data, today's data in this world, the total generated data in this world, if we convert that data into form of days, then we can reach twice to the moon. This is the huge amount of data we have. This is the volume of that big data. What is the Mark Zuckerberg? He said in his statement before 2 or 3 months back, he said that total FB users are equivalent to the actual population of whole world before 100 years. This statement itself a big statement, and 6.5 billion global smartphone users by 2020. This much big data will be generated by your smartphones, be it, let's talk about any device. If we have in your household activities, for your smartphones, anywhere, if you will go to any type of market, retails, outlets, healthcare sector, anywhere the data is generated. Let's move further. Data generated every minute. I'm just talking about, guys, this is for 1 minute, how much data is being generated in a single minute. Twitter user sends 3,47,222 tweets in a single minute. YouTube users updates 300 hours of new videos in a minute. Facebook users likes 41,66,667 posts in a minute. For Instagram, users like 17,36,111 posts in a minute. Guys, this is the data about just single minute. Think about that if this data is generated for a day, for a month, and for the year. How these companies works and how these companies are handling data. To store the data, when the RDBMS system is not able to handle, then other technology like big data Hadoop came into market, and how the companies are working on it. See, 532 nodes and 5.3 petabytes of store used by EBA, and eBay is using it for the MapReduce, Peg, Hive, and HBase. Guys, if you don't understand these all things, we will have a separate session for the Hadoop developer program. We will have a good site for these all things. What is MapReduce, what is Peg, what is Hive, what is HBase, and how really these tools are really effective to analyze the any type of data, whether it is structured data, unstructured data, or any type of data. Facebook is using Hadoop to storage its internal logs to storage the data, and it has 1400 nodes clusters for the 15 petabytes of stores. Facebook have two clusters. One is for the 1100 nodes and another one is having 300 nodes. Yahoo is using more than 40,000 computers to run the Hadoop. Yahoo is using it to support the research and ad systems for the web search and all. So, and Adobe is also using it, Hadoop of 30 node clusters, Hadoop and HBase for both production and development. Alibaba, you might have heard about it. This is that site, eBay sites, like eBay sites we have. the same in China, the Alibaba is there. They are using the 50 node clusters. Each node has 8 cores, 16 GB RAM and 1.4 TB of storage. And Twitter uses the Hadoop to store and process the tweets and the log file. It is using the pig to schedule the jobs and all. And this is just about the six big data companies, those who are using the big data technology. There are most of organizations, those are using the big data nowadays, big data tools nowadays, big data to analyze the big data. What is big data? Exactly, systems, enterprises, these are generating a huge amount of data nowadays. It is in the form of terabytes, petabytes and exabytes. So the data, like Amazon handles the 15 million of customers, and stock markets, they are generating TBs of data in a single day for tradings. Emails, there are 294 billion emails sent every day. I just think about the how much data we are generating nowadays. Definition of big data. Big data is in the form of volume. The concern is nowadays lots of devices we are generating the volumes of data. Like if we have any type of mobile, whether it is iPad, anything, internet of devices, these all devices are generating a huge amount of data. And so this is the volume actually. And the another this is the V5 definition given by the IBM. Why how we can say that our problem is a big data problem? If the volume is high, next is the velocity. Velocity, the rate of data. What is the actual speed of data the data is generating nowadays? That is the velocity. Guys, I'm just going to from an overview of this. We will understand these all 5 V's in deep and depth while we are going to learn the Hadoop developer program. Then third one comes, this is the variety. Nowadays guys, this is not only the earlier we have the RDBMS systems and all, they were just have the structured data. Nowadays, as we have seen earlier also, on YouTube, on Facebook, we have lots of data types there. We have unstructured data, we have videos, we have like music, we have log files, we have JSON files, we have PPTs, we have emails. This is nothing but the variety of data. Now, the next comes the value. We have lots of data. Now we need to recognize that what that data is valuable for me. How we can extract the actual information or the important information from that data. That is the value of data. Veracity of data. That's another interesting point and the important point for the data as well. Veracity means something that every time you could not get the fair data. So data might be corrupted. Then it is called the veracity of data. So the tools which we are using in current world, they are not enough to read, to understand that data and to extract the meaningful information from this. So this is about the 5 V's of data, big data Hadoop. So if our volume is high, our velocity is high, we have variety of data, and if we want to have some valuable information from that, and if our data is varied. So this is the all 5 are the big data problems. Now let's talk about the domains. What are the exactly domains which are working in the big data domain? Web and e-commerce, like I have already talked about it. The Facebook, they are using generated, they have lots of data they are generating on every day in a single minute. Let's take an example. If you just send one snap or you have just shared one photograph, and if you are a celebrity or if you are popular among your like in your friends and on your followers, then and if you went for let's you went outside for half an hour from your house, or if you forget to carry your mobile phone, when you will come after 1 or 2 hours, then you will see that particular picture is sent or shared with people, liked by people. Guys, this is the type of data we are generating nowadays. In 1 hour, this will get thousands of clicks. You are so if you are so popular in your group, it could be shared to hundreds of people. That's why, and the every step which we will do, that is generating some data. So that's what about the Facebook and all. And the Amazon, they are generating a huge data. Flipkart, they are generating huge data nowadays. Let's move. If we'll talk about the telecommunication and all, they are actually using the big data analytics to stop their customers, or let's say that churn prevention, the actual term of this. They are using that their customer will not go to another provider, and how they can analyze that their customers are going to which direction or they are moving to which service provider. And guys, big data is really helpful for them by providing the new plans, generating new plans, defining new plans according to their customers, why they are moving to another subscriber. And if we'll talk about our government, Aadhaar card, you might have seen everyone, most of people are having nowadays Aadhaar card. The Aadhaar card, they are using that big data. Hadoop is to analyze that data, to store that data. Currently they are using to store that data, and they are using Hadoop. And most of healthcares in US, they are using it. They are using to analyze some symptoms earlier. If you any type of patient, by the earlier history, they can recognize that which treatment do we do for that particular patients. So healthcare, they are also have a lots and lots of data to analyze, and if they will analyze that data, then they can recommend a good medicine to their patients. That's why it is quite popular into the healthcare industry as well. If we'll talk about banking and finance, guys, the stock market, they are generating lots and lots of data nowadays. And banking sector, yes, you people might have seen that if you are if you are using the credit cards and all, then might of if you are uh, making transaction of like bigger like 20 or 30,000 rupees, then you might get the message or a call from a particular service provider or a bank. Then at that point of time, they will ask you that whether you have done this payment or you are authorizing this payment. So guys, these all analyses are done by big data analytics only. In retail domain, they are using a lot because to promote their goods and to sell more, to increase the sale, they are using a lot to the big data. Big data market forecast. Now, this is very interesting, guys. In earlier 2012, the big data market was just around $5 billion. It was not even the $5 million. It was somewhere the $5 million. And now in 2017, and we are just in April, we are near about somewhere $60 billion. This is a huge market nowadays, and this is just 5% of total companies are moving to the big data analytics. Think about that. In 2020, they might be moving. If the 5% will increase to the 20 or 25, you might think how much the market will grow. Let's move. Let's talk about big data job trends. Earlier, uh, let's talk about 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, that the big data was not there. It was there, it was in, but the scope and that particular companies they are using, they were very less. So you can see that that's a constant graph for that. Then in 2012 the boom arises, then it reached to somewhere quite high, and nowadays if we'll talk about, we have lots of jobs in the big data analytics and all. The percent growth is so high nowadays. You might have seen lots of job portals and they are totally filled with the big data technologies, big data analytics and Hadoop data scientists, big data scientists and all. So the future, if we'll talk about, you are at the right point to take the decision that yes, this is the industry where you need to go on. So big data job trends, like in Hadoop, if we'll talk about particular domain, the Hadoop, they have increased a huge percentage of growth. In, let's talk about the Hadoop developer from 2012 till now, they have reached somewhere 200 and around 50% of total. And for the Hadoop administrator, they have reached around 250. They are somewhere 250 to the 300%. Hadoop architecture is the main person who is taking care of the architecture. So this is about the growth. Big data, Hadoop and job salaries. Guys, this is the actual diagram where if we'll talk about the US, they have around average salary of a Hadoop developer is somewhere $10,000 in a month. Think about it. Careers in big data and Hadoop. So these are the particular 4 or 5, you can say the designation actually, where the people are working. Like first one is the big data architect. As I said, they are the actual people, those who are designing and implementing the big data solution to the IT enterprises and all. Next one is data scientist. Data scientist is the particular person who is analyzing and interpreting the complex data. Then it comes the Hadoop admin, one who is administrating and managing the Hadoop cluster and other resources, that like the entire ecosystem like Pig, Hive, HBase, Scoop. There are lots of ecosystem tools are there in Hadoop. So one who is managing or administrating, that is the Hadoop admin. Now let's come to the data analytic part. Analyzes different type of data and relationship among the data elements within a system. Guys, this is the actual position where we are emphasizing this one, and the last one, this is the big data developer, one who is developing everything. So we will be concentrating on the data analytic part and the big data developer part. We will be using some ecosystems like Pig, Hive, HBase, Scoop, Flume. These will be the ecosystem and the tools which we'll be using in the Hadoop. Why you should learn big data and Hadoop? Guys, I think now you will be going to understand, you will somehow you had understand that what was the big data and how this is growing the data and what is the future of this. So why you should learn big data, why you should come to this industry? For better career, right? For better salary, as I've said, the average salary for the US Hadoop developer that is around $10,000 in a month. Big companies are hiring. Yes. Nowadays, most of companies, they are moving to, as I earlier said, they are moving to the big data Hadoop. So that's a great opportunity for this. Better job opportunity. Big data and Hadoop is everywhere. That is the main point which I wanted to understand. Nowadays, we are generating huge amount of data. Even we are not having that much of storage earlier. Now we have the options that Hadoop is there for us, which can store any type of data, either in structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data. So every type of data Hadoop can store, and we can analyze it, and we can get a good insight of that data. So we have discussed about the Hadoop. Hadoop is it is a framework that allow you to distribute the processing of the large data across the cluster and the commodity hardware. We use the commodity hardware. Commodity hardware means it is a cheap uh, uh, I can, not only cheap, we can say these are the ordinary hardwares we can use. Like if you want to install Hadoop on your normal system, you can use that. So the actually the when I say the commodity hardware, it means that this is not required that hi-fi type of the cluster is need to build for this Hadoop. It is an open source, so it is absolutely free. It comes from the Apache. So it is an open source. Data management with scale out storage. Guys, this is very important. Scale out. We will discuss about it in our coming classes. But scale out means something like if you want to assign your work to another node, then you need to just give the IP to that particular node, then it will be added. If you want to petabytes of data, if you want to add hard disk of TVs, PVs of hard disk you wanted to add, simply you can just give a one command and it will be added to your cluster. And the tools which we will be using into Hadoop are for the data ingestion. Data ingestion means to import the data. The Flume is used to real-time access of data. We can import into Hadoop HDFS. Scoop is used to RDBMS type of data, some SQL type of data to be ingest into the Hadoop. Data storage are mainly HDFS. We will be focusing on the HDFS. HBase is also there. That is for the NoSQL data. Data processing is done in Pig, Spark, Hive, and Mahout. Mahout is mainly for the machine learning. Cluster management is done by the Apache Ambari, Apache Zookeeper, and the Uzi. This is about it, guys. I think you have understand about the big data, why big data, how big data, why people are moving to the big data, why industry is moving, why the companies are moving. And this is about it. Now, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day ahead.